All right, guys. Welcome to this activate and release yoga session. We're going to pair our yin yoga shapes for creating long-term changes in the length of our tissues, which most of us are really tight, with modern day PNF or contract relax techniques so we can get a deeper release even faster and also cultivate activation in the muscles that may not be very strong. For today's practice, it'll be helpful for you to have a couch or a chair or even a stability ball. That's what I'm going to use. Around you, coffee tables work too, ottomans work because we are going to be putting our hands on that, and we're also going to be putting an ankle on that when we get to it. The second thing that may be helpful for you to have is like a pillow or a yoga block because we are going to be laying on our belly, and you may want to rest your head on something like that. And if you need to step away and grab that now, if you're ready to go, then we may begin starting in any meditative position that feels right for you, whether that's seated or kneeling or laying. I invite you to close your eye. Let's start with a nice big in breath. And then letting that breath go. No particular way. Breathing in again, long, deep, and relaxed without any tension. See if you can feel your belly. Breathing out in any way that helps you release tension. Breathing in again, like you're trying to pop a belt off around your belly. Letting your breath go. And then our activate and release practice here, our release practice. We use a triangle breath, which is an inhale, a hold, and then a double length exhale because the exhale stimulates our relaxation response. And we'll breathe in a 4-7-8 pattern. If it feels like too much, you shorten it, you make it yours. We'll start together in 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Holding, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, expanding the belt on your belly. Holding, rib cage expanded, neck and shoulders relaxed. Out for 8 seconds. And relaxing as you breathe out. In, holding, relaxing any unintended tension. Out. In, blowing up the belly. Back of the ribs, holding. Relaxing your mouth and your jaw. Breathing out. In, hold. Out. Now making it your own for the next few breaths. Seeing if you can find relaxation on the inhale. And on the exhale. letting go of that release breath, allowing your body to breathe you for a few moments. You're seeing the after effects of the breath itself. And then rolling forward to tabletop, making your way down to your belly. This is the point where if you have that pillow or block, make sure it's around you so you can grab it just in case you need it. And laying flat on your belly, pointing your toes back, hands in a little push-up position. And pressing down through the tops of your feet just to anchor them to the mat, especially your pinky toes. You might feel how that opens up your high hips, your lower back, your sacrum area. And just for a breath, using the strength of your arms to pull your rib cage up away from your hips. And as you set it down, make a little cat vomit sound just to zip our front ribs in. The worst sound to hear in the middle of the night, especially if you don't have a cat. Sending your right arm out to the right hand side, just about the height of your eyes, and you can always move it higher or lower if you feel pain inside of your shoulder. And as you inhale, starting to roll onto your right hand side. As you exhale, sweeping your left leg backwards over the top of the right. You can plant the sole of your foot on the mat. You can just reach your leg out long, using your left hand as a kickstand. From here, you can take that pillow, that block, that blanket, whatever you got, and rest your head on it, trying to find a neutral neck position. And if this feels like way too much for you, if you're like, I can't twist into it at all, you can always use your chair or ball or bed, just like so. Roll out to the side, hand planted on it, leaning into a chest stretch. But while we're in this open wing shape, we'll bring in our release breath. On the inhales, contracting, holding that light contraction on the holds, and relaxing everything on the exhales. You can even wiggle into it. Taking a big inhale, press down with your right arm. Holding, filling up the left side of your rib cage. As you exhale, letting everything go. Feel free to explore, to wiggle a little bit, deepening the stretch. Inhaling, pressing down. Holding, filling up the left side of your ribs. Relaxing, and letting everything go. Remember, if I hold or exhale for too long, shorten it, make it yours. Inhaling, pressing down. Holding, feeling that contraction. Breathing out, relaxing, exploring the shape. Maybe you reach your left arm back behind you if you got that flexibility. Maybe you just rest it on your left hand side. Inhaling to activate. Holding. Releasing. One more time. Holding. Releasing. Just settling in to the shape. Making sure your head, your neck is supported as close to neutral or straight as possible. Just allowing your breath to breathe you. Allowing ourselves to really surrender into the shape. Noticing the mental discomfort that comes up and the voices in your head maybe telling you to get out of there. You notice those things, those stressors, engage in your breath, drawing out your out breath. Calming your nervous system. relaxing through your face, jaw, even your forehead. Noticing any unintended tension in your body, seeing if you can soften into that and let go of the contraction just a little bit. Feeling how right arm might feel like it's falling asleep. Feel tingly, mad. It's okay. When you're ready, taking a big in breath, slowly unwinding back to center, back to your belly. And taking a rest in this space. Maybe you rest your forehead on the back of your hand. Right arm still reached out to the right hand side. Oh, noticing the after effects, the blood flow coming in, that bioelectricity, that sensation. And if you feel inspired to take any movement, even if you're like, that feels or sounds ridiculous, doesn't make sense, take the movement now. Maybe walk your left arm out overhead and ground through your right knee as you lift your right arm up towards the sky, taking a little shoulder roll, taking a few breaths there, just activating ourselves into that open hearted position. When you're ready, making your way back to your belly, make your little push up position. Making sure you got your pillow, you block your blanket. We approach the opposite side here. Inhale, sending your left arm out to a T, that left hand side. And if you decide you want to put your hand on top of the uh, chair or bed instead, you can do that. Creeping your fingertips away, getting length through that shoulder before you ground through the palm. As you inhale, start to roll onto your left hand side. And as you exhale, sweeping that right leg back behind you. Maybe the sole of your foot plants. Maybe you just reach the leg back. If you have your pillow or blanket here supporting your head so your neck is neutral, straight as possible, not sagging in any way. We're going to do our activation breath. If we inhale, pressing down into your left arm, gently, not as hard as you can, just enough to feel the activation. Holding, feeling up the right side of your rib cage. Exhaling, letting everything go. Going into it. Exploring the depth of the stretch. Again, inhaling to activate, pressing down. Not as hard as you can, just enough to feel the stretch. Holding. Letting go of any unintended tension. And releasing. Letting go of all that contraction. Maybe you start reaching your right arm back, like you lay it over your right side, or maybe you reach it back behind you, planting your right palm to the floor, back behind your lower back. Maybe you don't do either of those things. Inhaling, pressing down. Holding. Releasing. Inhaling to press. Holding. letting go. Remember, if my breath is too long, make it yours. The duration is your own. One more time. Big inhale, press down. Hold it. Letting go. Big release. And then coming back to your natural breath. Just allowing yourself to surrender into the shape. Letting go of any contraction that you feel in the body. Just letting yourself really melt into it. If you feel that mental chatter, that stress, you feel the energy and motion telling you to roll out of it, get out, to wiggle, to move. That's the emotions. Starting to draw out your exhale, using your breath to calm your nervous system. Every breath, you're seeing, or you can ask yourself to hold this just for one more breath without moving. Just one more. Drawing right now. Eliciting calm amidst chaos and discomfort. On that same breath. Starting to unwind back to your belly. Once you get there, pausing there, and then resting your head on the back of your right forearm. Noticing the after effects. And then if you feel inspired to move, even if it doesn't make sense, I invite you to take that movement now. Maybe you reach your right arm out overhead, ground out through your left knee, inhale on your left arm, fingertips up towards the sky, taking your shoulder roll. Maybe you take something completely different. Create time to just be in stillness. Our body often tells us exactly what it needs. Our job is to honor that. When you're ready, coming back to your belly, sliding your hands underneath your shoulders, sliding your knees out about shoulder width, and then sitting your butt back towards your heels into what we call a child's pose shape. You might reach back and unbunch the skin underneath your knees, and walking your hands back out overhead, taking a big inhale. And as you exhale, laying your belly down, that dreaded sound, over your thighs, creeping your fingertips out overhead. Gently stretching the mat, creeping your fingertips out long, feeling that length in your shoulders. This is our model for our next shape here. Here, you want to scoot up to your chair or bed or table or stability ball if you've got one. Because from that shape, we're going to put our hands up over whatever that prop or tool is today. So sitting our butt back towards the heels, hands on top of bed, couch, table, just like so. Your stability ball. Making our way into a preparatory position for what's called the melting heart. It's a big opener for your thoracic spine. That's all your vertebrae that connect to your rib cage, and for really situating your arm bones deep in your shoulder joint. Stretching the mat apart between the knees here. Let's get set up. Gently. Remember, all our activations are just enough to feel it, not as hard as we can go. Imagine that you could press that bed or couch or ball away from you. Feel how that brings length into your arms. Ground it to the balls of your fingers, that's your under knuckles. Gently doming your arms like you could lift just your elbows towards the sky. That lifts your arm bones deep into your shoulder joint. A lot of work. And then imagining there's a rubber band wrapped around your elbows. It's squeezing them together. Press out, stretch that rubber band. This is our activation. It's a press away, it's a lift, it's a stretch. Taking a big inhale here, really doubling down on the activation. Hold, see if you can breathe and puff up into the back of your rib cage. And as you exhale, let all the activation go. See if you can sink deeper into it. Maybe you decide to walk your knees back so you can sink even deeper. Come in more towards a kneeling than a resting child's pose position. Big inhale, press the ball away. Lift the arm. Holding. Stretch the rubber band on the elbows. Up and up the back of your ribs. Exhaling. Letting it all go. See if you can sink deeper into it. It's like you're trying to sink not your face, but your heart down to the floor. Maybe you need to adjust your knees again to find more space. Big inhale, pressing the ball away, lifting the arm, holding, stretch the elbow rubber band. Exhaling, sinking deeper into it. Notice that this one gets very uncomfortable. Your work as a warrior here is to really pay attention to the difference, what the edge is between discomfort, which is where growth is, and pain, which is something you're going to pay for later. You want to stay towards the discomfort edge and away from the pain, even if that means coming out of the posture a little bit. Inhale, activate, press, lift, stretch, hold, open up the back of the ribs. Exhale, deepening into it only if your body's asking for it. Once more, big inhale to activate. Holding. Exhaling. And then finding the variation of this where you can really settle in for the long haul. Maybe that's coming back towards that child's pose shape with your hips and your butt back towards your heels. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you're really trying to sink down, heart to the mat. You get to pick. Just allowing your breath to breathe, you letting go of any contraction, allowing gravity to settle you into it. Maybe you decide to turn your hands to the sides, come into it like a karate chop position on the side of your palm. It's changing the direction, the pressure and stretch. Maybe you like grounding through your palms. It's all good. Noticing the chatter, the emotions, that energy telling you to wiggle and move, just drawing out your breaths. They're like little chipmunks in your mind trying to distract you. Thanks for your input, chipmunks. See if you can soften into your forehead, your jaw, anywhere that tension is creeping up. When you're ready, slowly, gently releasing your hands from that tool. Just coming down to your forearms on the ground. In the child's pose shape. The arms zipped in. Just pausing here. Breathing. Noticing the after effects. If you feel inspired to take any particular movement, if it makes zero sense, I invite you to take that now. I'm going to make my way up to a kneeling position from child's pose. I call this the hug exercise. Inhaling the arms out to the sides, turning the palms up, opening the heart towards the sky. And then exhaling, giving yourself a big hug. Rounding through your back. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, hugging opposite arm over the top if you're doing this one. And taking one more per arm position. That ends up being two more. It's got three arms, which I haven't encountered before. And then just settling into a little resting position. Listen to how the upper body feels. And go for the lower body now. So we're going to use that same tool, bed, chair, wall. And if you need to roll up a towel or use a pillow to support your knee, because this can be a lot of pressure, I'll invite you to do it now. And what we're doing is a variation on hero. So hero is just the kneeling position, an internally rotated kneeling position. Reclined hero would be laying back in that position, a double quad stretch. And one really effective quad and hip stretch would be one leg at a time, tucking that knee in. As you can see, my knee's coming up, so I'm not even ready and warmed up for that yet. And I think it's ludicrous to expect most any person to be able to do that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do what's called the couch stretch in fitness. We're going to get in front of our couch or chair or table, and we're going to take our left ankle up over that thing, whatever it is. And if you're like, that hurts, then grab yourself a little pillow to put underneath that ankle. From there, we'll sweep that right foot forward into a nice little lunge position. And if you can, that might be enough there. Don't walk your hands up on top of your right thigh. If you need a little balance device, maybe the broomstick or something, you can always use that to take some of the pressure, the balance work off. Peeking at your left heel, we want to make sure we can see it next to your left hip. So we're working towards neutral. It's probably a lot of work to get there. Most people are in external rotation by virtue of sitting, sedentary lifestyle, and we want to try and restore your neutral alignment here. Our activations, we're going to press back into your prop, and we're going to press the floor away from the left knee. It's like we're trying to shrug up out of the left hip. Holding, relaxing neck and shoulders. And as you exhale, letting it go. Maybe you rock forward, left and right a little bit. You get to explore into your hip. Depending on where you're tight, you might feel it through your quadricep, the thigh muscle. You might feel it more in your hip flexor, the front of your left, what we call yoga groin. Big inhale, pressing back and down. Holding, relax neck and shoulders. And exhaling. Inhaling to press. Holding. Easing. 2 more times. Big inhale, activate, pressing back and shrugging the floor away with your left hip. Holding. Getting tall. Exhaling. One more time. Holding, releasing, and settling in for the long haul. And surrendering into it. I like to reach my hands back for the chair or the ball back behind me if you have that range without losing your alignment, without sagging into your left hip. You don't have to do that though. Trying to ensure your chest is open, just like our child's pose and our melting heart, imagining the rubber band around your elbows stretched out that opens your back body. Relax your mouth, draw out your exhales. Breathing into the back of your rib cage. Maybe you try to zip the ribs back in. Often we arch our back through our thoracic spine to lift our heart, thinking it's a proud posture. What we're really doing is really kinking our rib cage into our kidneys, and on top of our kidneys sit our adrenals or cortisol or alertness hormone secretors. In yoga theory, by having that overly extended posture through your rib cage, you stress the body out more. That's why I cue the so much. Noticing the internal stress, the chatter, the sounds. Remember, they're just sounds, just like sounds on the outside. You don't have to identify with them. We could just watch them. Do that. We come to the breath. We draw out the exhale. When you're ready on your next out breath, releasing down to your hands, sweeping your right knee back, and releasing your ankle from your prop, just pausing in a little tabletop position for a moment. No movements, just noticing the after effects. It can be real intense for people on the lower body. And if you feel inspired to take any particular movement, I invite you to take that now. Even if it doesn't make sense, maybe it's some fire hydrant hip circles with that left leg without bending into your right elbow. Maybe it's something else. You take it, you explore. When you are ready for the same thing on the opposite side here. Getting your right ankle situated up over your prop, grounding your right knee into the mat. Sweeping your left foot forward into a nice little lunge position. And then rising up. Maybe your hands come up to your left thigh, but maybe they stay down on the ground. That's okay. You have a little balance assist, like a little pole, feel free to take that. And just checking our alignment, checking our setup here, peeking next to your right hip. Can you see your right heel there? If not, can you try and spin your right leg into internal rotation? That is trying to spin that right heel or right ankle really out. Notice how that changes the stretch. Big difference for me through what we call the TFL, right on the front outside of your right hip. Remember, our activation work here is to press back into the prop and to shrug the floor away from the right hip. It's like we're pushing the floor away with your right knee. Inhaling to activate. Holding, releasing unintended tension in your neck, your shoulders, your face. Exhaling, relaxing all your contraction, wiggling into it, exploring. Inhaling to activate. Holding. Remember, if my breaths are too long, make it yours. Exhaling, deepening into it. Inhaling to activate. Holding. Releasing. Inhaling. Holding. Releasing. Once more, big activation. Holding and releasing. Just settling into the shape. Maybe you're good right where you are. Maybe you reach your hands back or your prop. Coming back to your breath, your coherence breath. Even long inhales and exhales. And if the body, your mind starts to feel stressed, then drawing out the out breaths. Soothing your nervous system, bringing it out of arousal. Noticing those urges to wiggle, seeing if you can remind yourself just one more breath before wiggling. On your next exhale, releasing this shape, coming down to your hands, sweeping your left knee back, releasing your right ankle, just pausing in your tabletop, hands or knees shape. No movement, just being here. Noticing the after effects, not just physically, but also mentally. What's happening in your cognition, your mind. Emotionally, what are the feelings? If you feel inspired to take any particular movement, I invite you to take that now. Maybe you took fire hydrants on the other side and that feels right here too. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe your body's asking for something else. Either way, you explore what your body is asking for. Once you feel complete in that, making your way down to your back. Feet planted, knees bent. Sometimes I like to reach back and use my hands to lift my head to bring my neck to neutral, like I'm pulling my skull up away from my shoulders and then setting it down. Tailbone heavy. And hugging your knees in towards your chest. Breathe in into your lower back. And finding that neutral with both hips at the same time here. So squeezing the knees together and stretching your ankles away from each other. It might feel real crampy. That's okay. Inhale and send your arms out to the sides to a T, grounding through your right shoulder. And as you exhale, releasing the legs over the left hand side into a little supine twist. Adjust your jewels if you need to. If your right shoulder's coming up, you're over twisted. And that means just take a pillow or block a blanket underneath the left leg. Maybe you decide to scoot your left hip backwards so you could stack the right hip over the top of the left. I'm going to take a few contractions here as we inhale, twisting your torso right, grounding your right shoulder, and twisting your hips left, pressing them down into the ground. Holding, seeing if you can puff that air into your right rib cage. As you exhale, letting it go. Inhaling, counter twist. It's like you're wringing yourself out like a towel. Holding, torso opening right, hips twisting left. Exhaling. Letting it go. Inhaling the twist. Holding, filling up the right side of the rib cage. And exhaling. Inhaling. Holding. Releasing. One more time. Settling into this shape. Imagine there's a weight on top of your right thigh, weighing your legs down into the ground. Magnet underneath your right shoulder blade, and pulled down by the center of the earth. Ready, slowly, gently, unwinding back to center. Exhaling, rest in this shape. Maybe your feet are on the mat. Maybe you're hugging your knees in towards your chest. Use the pick. Just breathe. When you're ready, hugging your knees and taking the same thing on the opposite side. Before we twist, finding neutral through the hips, squeezing the knees together, stretching the ankles away. Inhaling your arms out to the sides, grounding through your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, releasing your legs over to the right hand side. Maybe you decide to scoot your right hip backwards to stack your left over the top of the right. Maybe you need a pillow or blanket underneath your right thigh. You can keep your left shoulder grounded. Right hand can come over the top of the left thigh, torso twisting left to ground the left shoulder as the hips twist to the right, wringing you out like a towel. Taking a big inhale to activate, twisting, holding, left side of the ribs expanded, belly expanded. And exhaling, letting everything go. Body settle. Inhaling the twist, holding, expanding the left side of the ribs. And exhaling. Inhaling, holding, releasing. In, hold, out. One more, make it your own. And settling into the shape. Allowing gravity to do its work. Your body slowly, gently unwinding back to center. Taking that shape that calls to you. Maybe the knees are tucked in, maybe the feet are planted. Noticing the after effects. Taking any remaining movement, any shapes that feel right for you. Whatever your body's asking for here. If it doesn't make any sense. When you're ready, sending your legs out long beneath you. Releasing your arms down by your sides directly next to your body. And if you can, turn your palms to face down into the mat. Pressing down, zipping your legs together, toes pointing straight up, lifting through your toes so you touch your ankles. Press your legs down into the mat hard. Press your arms down hard. Big inhale, filling all the way up. Holding, fill up the back of your rib cage, contracting every muscle in your body. As you exhale, let it all go. Your body. Release, taking one big in breath, letting it go, and just allowing your body and your breath to breathe you. And any remaining tension just melt away. Yes, yes. Ready. Reaching your arms out overhead, taking a big inhale and a big long stretch. And you exhale, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Gently rolling onto your right hand side, taking a little fetal position, resting your head on your arm. Listen to how your body feels today. So if that's this entire ready. Making your way up to your seated position wherever you started today. And if you're cross-legged in the easy pose, pull your opposite leg in first. Like to reach back and untuck through my hips, strong through your legs, gently press down, long and lifted through the torso, chest and back body open. Inhaling your arms out to the sides and all the way up overhead. You exhale, bring your palms together into heart center, closing today's practice. Carrying this energy with you throughout the rest of the day and the week. As we say in yoga, I see myself in you, I see you in myself. Namaste. Thank you for being here today for today's reset and release practice, our activation and stretchy yoga. This is what we spend 4 weeks on, and really 12 whole weeks on inside of men's yoga transformation, inside of that initiatory process to really reset the body to its potential and mentally and emotionally. If you enjoyed this is value for value. So please contribute whatever you get out of it to PayPal and Venmo. And if you have any questions, please drop in the comments and let me know. And also just let me know how it's felt for you. And that's it. Thanks for being here. Have an amazing day.